surround yourself with people who are like on a certain wave, you're gonna more likely. It's like when you put a fresh piece of fruit next to a rotten one.
Yeah.
It
Spreads real
rots.
quick,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So like stress, like most diseases, comes from just your like how you think. The first thing I do is gratitude, because like gratitude is the emotional signature of receivership. As soon as I started applying that, like it just brought this consciousness into me, and like I awoke to what everything was, and then I just went through like a mad spiritual awakening. Like I started meditating, and like meditation is the biggest. Like I do it every day.
You grow though, don't you?
Yeah,
It's just
you're gonna every year you're a new person. Like actually you are. Like your body gets rid of its cells and creates new ones. Like you actually are a new person every single year. So like your music's gonna or your podcast's gonna change. Everything's got to be in momentum. Like people are so happy staying in the same place and comfort zone, but like you've got to get out of that to grow.
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. Another episode of my story here at JSpeakz Media, and I'm delighted to be joined by rapper and mindset coach,
Boom.
JSpeakz.
Yes.
How are you, mate?
What's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
Really good, mate. Really good. You could do with a nice big fan, but apart from that,
Yeah, it's boiling in here.
it's like proper warm.
Hot boxed.
But yeah, mate. I turned up the other day and I had a jumper on, and I just walked in here and I just walked straight back out. It was just like, no.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a sweaty one in here, bro. Trust me.
Feel sorry for who's in here afterwards. It's just gonna stink of like sweat and
Detox here, sauna settings, man.
yeah. So with these, mate, what I like to do is get to know you a bit, innit? So we like take you right back to the early days, the start, whatever you want to say. Like, what was the childhood like in the early days?
Yeah, childhood was blessed, man. You know, just normal childhood, bro. Nothing too mad. Just
Swansea.
Yeah. Just went to school and just.
What was you like as a kid? Sport, music?
Played football. I was like, it's weird because when I was young, I didn't used to listen to rap. When I was young, I was like 5. Like, do you know what I mean? My brother used to listen to rock. My brother is an artist, but like he's completely different. He's like rock and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like when I grew up, I listened to like I was like quite like not like but I used to listen to rock. And then when I was like 8 or 9, that's when I started listening to like 50 Cent, Eminem, you know, Mobb Deep. Yeah, that's when I started listening to that, you know. But like as a kid, like I just used to like, you know, play football.
You any good at football?
I was a striker, bro.
Yeah.
I was a defender at the start, but then when I joined this team and like they was like, I'll put you up front, and I banged out from like 30 yards, and then it was like, yeah, you're a striker.
But
yeah, no, I played for a few years, but nothing mad.
What was you like as like a teenager now? Was you like well behaved and
like up until like 16? Yeah, when I left school, I was a bit like naughty, but just got up to the wrong shit, you know.
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately,
you leave school, and then you like when I went to college, you know, just meet new people and stuff, and then like I kind of went down a wrong path in my life. But you know, like kind of restructured that now. But like back when I was like 16 to 18, you know, I went through like, you know, I wouldn't really like
just wasn't too focused.
Yeah, didn't know what I wanted in life. I always like at that point I started making music properly when I was 16, and then so like I was like releasing music, you know, like. And like where I'm from, like there's not a lot of people doing it apart from Marino. Shout out to Marino, obviously. Like me and him was like shutting down shows in like this town called Casino around where we live, and like we was only like 17, and no one was doing it. Do you know what I mean? So like it was like, especially in Swansea, it's like when someone like tries to do something like that, it's a bit, you know, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but so it was quite hard when we first started, because not a lot of people respected it. So like you'd get like people saying, yeah, it's good, but then you'd also have that's part of it anyways, you're gonna have people not liking it. But just like that first little phase from like 16 to 18, we was just making music, just, you know, not really knowing what I wanted to do anyways. Like I knew I wanted to pursue music and like stuff like that, but like especially the mindset coaching and stuff like that, I wasn't on that type of wave. Like,
so you didn't have anything like other than music? Was there anything like another route you may have taken in terms of? Well,
I was doing like I had a job and stuff, like so like I was working carpentry, you know, just making money, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like that, like, yeah, so like, but I knew that's not the life I want to live. I don't want to, like, I didn't want to be
like a day job.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no.
Nothing wrong with it, because I still go on now. But like, I have nothing against people who have 9 to 5s, you know. Like I used to, because I used to think like, you know, I stuff 9 to 5s, you know. But like, if you go into work to get money, like you're on your grind. Do you know what I mean? So like, 100%. I respect anyone who goes to work to make money to put food on the table.
That's it, mate. You gotta do. Sometimes you gotta just do what you gotta do. Like, and I know, you know, I dare say a lot of people who've got 9 to 5s. I'd say probably 80% of them don't like their jobs.
No, 100%.
They got to do it because they got kids, bills, whatever
like,
it may be. Like.
When you go to a shop now and you want a piece of bread, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And like, that shit don't come free. Like, you know what I mean? You have to work. Like, you got to do it. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I just use it now as like fuel for my like other kind of ventures. I know it's only temporary, so that's why I don't mind.
How do you get, like, when you was like 16 then and you started sort of making music and that, what set you down that road? Was it just a case of you liked hip-hop, you like music?
Yeah, I mean, the culture of rap is like, it's easily influenced to make you make decisions in life. Like, it was with me. Like, I'd be lying if I said that, like, rap didn't influence me to do other stuff. Do you know what I mean? But like, and especially like when I left school, I just went like, when you go to college, you just meet so many people. So like for me, it was just like I was surrounded by a lot of stuff, and then your environment like has a massive effect on how you are as a person.
Yeah, it changes. They say
your networks, your net worth, and it. So like you surround yourself with people who are like on a certain wave, you're gonna more likely. It's like when you put a fresh piece of fruit next to a rotten one.
Yeah,
it rots. Yeah, it's the same with a log, like a fire burning. If there's a log burning and you put a log next to it, it's going to catch.
100%.
And that's what it's like, you know, who you surround yourself with is going to reflect your outcome.
Yeah, literally, I had former boxing champion and now coach Gary Lockett in here on Wednesday, and he was saying, like, just about in the gym, sometimes he's had people come in and then he's had to ask them to leave because they had a bad attitude or whatever. But that toxic kind of attitude and way of looking at things or whatever, just behaviours, spreads really quick. So like if you're in a team setting or a gym setting or just in life generally, like once you kind of in it takes over you quick.
100%. I seen it impact with everything, friendships, relationships, like whoever you surround yourself with, you're gonna have that effect on you, no matter how like strong you are as a person. It will rub off you eventually, like even if it doesn't straight away. So like for me, like I knew it was happening as well. So like I had to like get out. And as soon as I separated myself around, like from people who weren't on my vibe, not like me being on a like egotistic way of saying I'm better than you, but like it just weren't part of who I was as a person. So as soon as I separated myself from people that don't resonate with me or align with my visions and like who I actually want to be as a person, like as soon as I stopped doing that, like my life just went up in
different direction.
When the universe just pulled me away from that naturally. So like for me now, like my circle's tiny. I know a lot of people, but you like very rarely see me with a lot of people because
do
you know what I mean? I'm like so focused on my mission. Like if you ain't like, you know, system like my success, or like if you know we ain't aligned, you know, characteristics, then like I like, you know, my main goal is just protect my energy at all costs. That's like my main focus right now.
I mean I'm interested in that because you like obviously you got your music and stuff, but then you got your mindset. You're like a mindset coach, and like you see like straight away speaking to you, like you're very much about like positive energy and stuff.
That's like, it's weird because like when I was 18, like I went like 17, 18, I just went through the spiritual awakening. Like it happened so naturally as well. Like I didn't know it was I didn't know what it was at first because like I thought I was losing my head. Like that's what it felt like because like I was like awaking up to everything, and it just like I know it happened for a reason, and like I know that my focus right now is like all of this information I'm receiving like from universe and just everything in general, like what life has shown me. Like I know it can help a lot of people. Like when I post them little mindset reels on my Instagram. Like even if one person sees it, don't like, even if like I know one person will see it and they'll feel it.
Yeah.
All it takes is that one person. Like people, someone come up to me in a skate festival. You know Scammer. You know Scammer, like my shower Scammer as well. He's my brother. So like when I was in, he had a set in like on the main stage. So like I was with him, and this guy come up to me and he was like, I watched what your Instagram videos have changed my life. Like, so like for me, that's like I love music. I know music is, when I make music, that's me and my core self. Do you know what I mean? That's when my vibrations are high, because it's my actual passion. But it's the same with mindset. Like, because I know the effect it has on people, it, like, for me, that's the most rewarding part, is like seeing someone come up to me and say like, that video you made has changed my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because like I done quite a few podcasts on like mental health and stuff, and I done some on so we did like a mini series on different types of mental illness, like schizophrenia and multiple personalities and stuff like that, and we had people in who, you know, have suffered from those diseases and illnesses and stuff, and like then we done some on addiction and stuff like that, and then I done like I think it was like a 2.5 hour podcast with T-Rev about like just him and his life, and at the time he was just getting clean, and kind of turning himself around. Of course. So like, me and him get on really, really well. Like, so we just sat there and we were just talking for like a couple of hours about all different stuff, but a lot of it was about that. And then all of them shows came out quite close together, sort of over a couple of months or whatever. But I started to get these messages from people just saying, I've been struggling with gambling addiction. I've known about it, but I've kind of just been doing it, but I've ended up losing thousands. And I've seen the show you done with Keith Gillespie talking about it, and I've decided I'm going to go and get help. Like, to me, I don't care if my shows get, you know, like 1 million views or something. I'd rather reach one or two people,
and change their life,
because I've been there with gambling, I've been there with drinking, and done like bits and pieces when I was younger as well, which could have set me down. Like, when I had Mercury, I talked about like, there was a point in my life when I look back now, like I'm 40 now, but like when I was about 20, couple of years before I met my missus, I was like at a proper sliding doors moment, because I was banging like pills and coke and drinking.
Yeah, of course.
Literally, like drinking all the time. I was drinking in the morning before going to work, and like I was only going one way, because I would, if I had carried on with like that, I would have lost my job, and then I got to find another way to make money.
Yeah, of course.
And I know where I would have been able to do it.
Yeah,
and then you're down that route, and it's very difficult to get out
I was stuck in that loop for a few years. Like I went like a party, like I partied. It's alright, mate. I you know, I love partying. I went like a drug user, but like I've been down that route of like, do you know that route where if I stayed on that route, I'd either end up in jail or be dead. Like that's the type of like route, and like because I knew I was on that route. Yeah, as soon as you're aware of it, that's the biggest step, because like your awareness, like you can't get out of prison if you don't know you're in one. Yeah. So like, as soon as you know you're on the wrong path, that's like the first step to the change, is knowing that the change is gonna come.
It's hard though, isn't it? Right?
100%.
If the people who you hang around with, and they're all into the same stuff, and you're either in it or you're just getting into it, and you think you're all mates, it's very difficult to say, do you know what, this is not for me, if like all your mates are doing it. And like, so for me, I was lucky in a way. I had like health problems. I had a car accident, which meant I couldn't go out.
Yeah, so it stopped that from
So my circle changed, because those people who I thought were really close friends, they kind of didn't bother me.
Life will show you who your real ones are, like in situations like that especially. So like, it's like that with me, I had two options. So it was either like stay with the people, like, because the circle who I was around, they was like, all they wanted to, nothing wrong with smoke. I still smoke a bit now. Like nothing like I'll have like now and then. I don't smoke weed, but like I've nothing against it, because I smoked it for ages. But like, all they would do is just smoke weed all day and just no vision, no path. Like,
just happy with it.
Just content, yeah. And like that's fine. But like that with me. So like for me, I was like hungry. Like I'm up like as soon as I wake out of bed, I'm thinking I gotta go and get that,
Go and do
go
some
get
stuff,
that bag. Like that's what it felt like for me. So like it was either me stay in that stay in that situation where I'm just doing nothing all day, and like cause I was so hungry and passionate, it was frustrating me, and like. And then when I didn't used to chill with them, they'd be like, "Oh, why are you being so weird?" I'm like, I got a vision and a purpose that needs my attention.
And the thing is, like, 100%. And if you're like I said, you can tell you're about like a lot about like positive thinking and positivity. That frustration which you have from not doing what your mind wants you to do. So if your mind like wants you to be doing stuff and be busy and going to try and do something, and you just sat around like listening to music and smoking or whatever, which is, whatever, but like that's going to frustrate you, and then that frustration just breeds more negativity.
100%. It amplifies your emotions, so then like you're going to still carry on them actions, because like 90% of the thoughts you think today are exactly the same as yesterday's. So like if and people want a new experience in life, you may want a new car, a new relationship, $1 million, money in the bank, financial freedom, health, wealth, like all of these categories that people want. Like everyone wants these. But they're still, you gotta like, so your personal reality, is reflected off your personality. So like how you show up as a person reflects your will, because your choices will reflect off who you are as a person, which is affected by who you hang around with, what you think. So like your state of being, your personality is made up of 3 things. So like how you think, feel and act. And when they're all incoherent with your goals, and you're showing up as that person with a car now, you're thinking as that person with a car, and you're acting like that person with a car, them actions are just gonna manifest that for you. So like, well, that's why I always say to people, like when I coach people and they're like, I want to attract this like girl, or I want to attract this job, or they want like, I want that like life. But I'm like, you got to look at yourself as a person, because how would you, if you got to visualize that goal and like think, how would that person act every day? How would you talk to people? Like how would you run your podcast forever? Like like. What would your daily routine look like? What books would you read? How would you eat your foods? Like would you eat your hands? Would you eat your fork? Like how would you even tie your shoes? And like you gotta really dial that specific version of yourself in, and all you gotta do is just show up as that version of yourself. And I promise you, like you will start to see your life change. You'll start to see the people around you change, because how you view yourself is how other people will view you. If you view yourself as that amazing fucking person who's killing life, who's getting everything, running to the bag, no distractions, other people will pick up that energy off you, and they will view you as that person. You view yourself as someone who can't, like, who is like stuck, lazy, don't eat healthy, like don't go gym, don't like want to get any of the bag. People are gonna pick that energy up, and it's less attractive as well. So like the higher your vibration, like when you show up as that version of yourself, the highest version, when you think about it, it makes you feel good. And when you feel good, your vibration's high. So then when your vibration's high, everything around you changes. So all the energy, like it's
interesting, isn't it? Because like for me, like that way of thinking is quite new to me. So like read like a couple of books about it. There we go. Over the last couple of years, like I read like a couple of books or whatever, listened to a couple of audio books about that sort of thing, and like it is quite new to me. Like I spend a big part of my life being quite like negative thinking, and kind of thinking like the worst about myself or whatever it is, and it's hard to break those cycles because your mind gets into this routine of thinking a certain way, doing a certain thing. You gotta like almost shock yourself out of it. And I had to really shock my mind out of just always thinking like the glass half empty, if you like. Like I was always very much like that, and I found it really difficult. And I still have to pull myself in a little bit, like But on the other hand of it, you hit the nail on the head a minute ago when you said like, if you're thinking. If you view yourself a certain way, or you're more positive the way you just think about everything, you feel better.
100%. Because an emotion, is your body's reaction to your mind.
Yeah.
So when you think like negative thought, your body starts producing them chemicals to make you feel like that thought. So like when you do that, yeah, it's like your body triggers the fight or flight mode. So like stress, like most diseases, comes from just your like how you think. Because like if you think in negative thoughts all the time, like do you know like 1,000 years ago, yeah, it's quite interesting. So like 1,000 years ago, when we was like running from prey or running from a tribe or you know triggering that fight or flight mode, it would like it's fine to be in that state of like negativity, but not for a long period of time. So like when you're in that fight or flight mode, your body like so like when you're running away from a tiger or like you know when you're running away from tribes coming after you to steal all your stuff, like that I'm talking ancestral times now. So like your body produces cortisol to like shut down your organs, like to give you all of this adrenaline to get away from that situation. And the exact same fight or flight mode gets triggered now when you think a negative thought. And like people think these thoughts continuously, weekly, monthly, and then that personality changes into a mood. And like people are like, you know, why are you so annoyed? And like this person done this to me 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? They're still thinking about it. So like, and like people get ill because of this. Because when that fight or flight mode is triggered in you, your organs ain't functioning properly. You know, your liver doesn't work, your pancreas, all your organs ain't in coherence with each other. Your heart is beating like out of proportion. It's not a coherent beat. It's like fluttering and it's out of rhythm, and you're out of coherence. So like it triggers stress. Like stress is just like the ultimate cause of how like illness. Like it all starts with your environment, man. Like it's like I don't know if you know about like epigenetics with like Bruce Lipton and stuff.
Not really.
So like they say like people are like, oh, I'm just like it's my genes. Like I like why I'm like this. But then you get two identical twins. One lives till they're 80 and one dies when they're 40. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different environment. One's a health gym, you know, thinking positive. The other's like a smoker. Don't go gym, thinks negative, eats rubbish food. Your environment triggers your genes. So like, yes, it's interesting. Very interesting. Like this, it's all I really spend my time like learning. I'm just so interested in it.
Do you read a lot of books? And
stuff like recently I haven't been reading as much just because of like I've been busy. But like I'll try read a book a week. Like I'll at least 2-3 books a month. Like whether it's like I'm just mainly personal development, so I'm like study a lot of Joe Dispenza, Eckhart Tolle, you know, like all like quantum physics and stuff like that, because that I'm so interested in it because of how it's affected my life.
Okay.
Because when I've applied knowledge is key. Like knowledge, like people think that you stop learning when you leave school, but for me that's when I started, because like algebra and all of that doesn't make anything for me. What's that mean? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying school's rubbish. Like, you go to school to make friends, and you gotta like learn how to write and stuff like that and read, of course. But like,
ultimately,
can't tell me what like
you learn in schools.
It's useless. Yeah, like it is useless. So like for me, learning started when I left school. Started reading books, and like reading. Like think about this. Yeah, like someone has spent 10, 20, 30, 40 years writing that book. And you can digest that in a week or however long it takes you to read a book. And like you see, like people say I don't have time to read. Like if you want anything, if like you say you don't have like.
I've got time to read, but you can sit on your phone for.
Yeah, I'm like okay. So like my mentor people, and they're like I don't have time to like do the meditation, do the breathwork, do the yoga. You know, go walk barefoot in grass, go out in nature and stuff. They're like I don't have time, and I'm like okay, right. Let's look at what you do then. I'm like, right, do you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. I still watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But I get my other shit done first. But like, do you watch Netflix? Do you go on social media? How many hours? Like, let's look at your usage on your phone. 4 or 5 hours a day.
I'd admit I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah. Same. No. It's like unfortunately I use it as well. But like I try to use it as a tool. Yeah. And like now, like I catch myself like if I'm scrolling, I'm like.
What are you scrolling for? What are you just
I'm just looking at Lauren's dog from Doncaster. Do I like what do I benefit from this? Do you know what I mean? And I still do it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Like I'd be blatantly lying.
They're designed for it though.
They're designed. Do you know your dopamine when you when you put your phone on, and like that's why in the morning I don't go my phone for an hour, because there's a deeper meaning to it. But like an hour before bed, an hour before them hours before bed and the hours in the morning is your prime time for your mind to be receptive. So like from basically like without me going in frying your head too much.
No,
from the ages like 1 to 9, yeah. Your brain. I don't know if you know about like brain waves, like so.
A little bit, not.
So you have like theta, alpha, delta, gamma, beta. Beta is like what we are in now. We're active, we're thinking, we're speaking. So our brain waves are quite like fast.
Yeah.
So like when we're from the ages 1 to 9, your brain waves are like super slow. So this is when you're downloading information, you're learning how to speak. You're like, you walk up to a hot kettle, you touch it, you're like, oh, I'm not touching that again.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So but it's good. We can use this as our advantage. And this is why, like, when I learned this, I was like, I need to use this as my advantage. So like an hour before bed and an hour in the morning, your brain waves are in the exact same state as when you're from ages 1 to 9. We're in theta. So like, if you wake up and you're like going straight on your phone, COVID, Ukraine,
just fear and
fear and worry, and like you're not consciously thinking this, but you're downloading it. It's like, imagine like this is where like a lot of our shit stems from childhood, because them ages 1 to 9, like you growing up around your like probably like when I like a lot of us have money. Subconsciously money like limiting beliefs. So like money's hard to get, rich people are bad. If I say money is the root of all, you already know the answer without saying it, because it's rooted in your mind, evil. So like this is what I'm trying to say. So like in the morning, if you get up and you go on your phone straight away, you got to learn to just put it down. If you can go out, like a lot of people find it hard to just put that phone down and go. Like I still find, like some days I'll like find myself doing it. And like you got to be able to just detach sometimes. Like obviously with the people like us now, like, you know, pushing podcasts, music, mentoring, I need social media, but like I'm using it as a tool. It's the best tool right now. It's also the biggest.
It's
like,
the worst thing.
It's the worst thing in the world, but it's also the best, because I've learned so much from people on social media, and like people have learned from you. And it's like people benefit from you, like you add value. So like I use social media to add value or receive value, and like I'll like see what my friends are up to, and see you know, I can bring my dad like when I'm the other side of the world. It has its benefits, but like when you wake up and you're just scrolling, seeing people fighting, arguing, oh that person liked my pic, I like it's just like it's not good for it's not good. It's pointless. It's a waste. It's a waste of energy, and like so like that's the first thing in the morning I do. I wake up and like the first thing I do is gratitude, because like gratitude is the emotional signature of receivership. So like if you can wake up and be grateful, the universe will keep giving you stuff to be grateful. I promise you. That was like the biggest thing that changed it for me. I read like my mate Scammer, he put me onto the book The Magic, and like it's a 28-day gratitude like structured like place of work. So like you wake up, you write 10 things you're grateful for. And then you go to bed and you add, like you find like a stone, and like when you go to bed you hold it and you think what like the best thing that happened that day, and like gratitude amplifies your emotion, like amplifies your vibrations. So like any dark situation, there's always something to be grateful for. Like say you come here, someone robbed all your stuff, be like I'm sound, I'm alive. As hard as it is, like there's always something to be grateful for in any situation. Your eyes, you're like, do you ever just stop for a minute and just think like, I'm breathing right now, like I can feel my breath come into my body, I can see you with my eyes, like I can hear, I can taste. Like when I'm eating food, I can like, I'm thinking about that food and I'm like, thank you. Like this, like, do you know what I mean? So it's like,
it's this weird thing though, like I find myself more grateful for things like all the stuff you just mentioned as I've got older.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But that's part of like, I think like your brain maturing and your body and just your general personality, but going back to what you were saying about like taking something positive from bad situations, like if you look back over your life, you always learn more when you fail or you go something goes wrong or something like that. Like you'll always get more out of it in hindsight.
What do you get from winning? Like a bit of
good night
ego, so like, but you don't actually get anything from winning. You've just accomplished something. You've just accomplished a goal that you've wanted to. That's the only thing you get from it. Okay, yeah, if you had like £1 million, a lot of stuff would benefit from it. Do you know what I mean? But when you take an L or like you fail, you've learned something there. Do you know what I mean? Like if you like was driving like 40 mile an hour and you crash, you didn't look at your wind mirror. You failed, but you've just learnt not to do that again. So it's like like I've profited most from failures, And like, I don't know if you're into like Napoleon Hill, like who made Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
So like one of his books, Outwitting the Devil, like he says in there, in every like failure or adversity is the opposite seed, or even more of the growth. You've just got to tune in and find it. And this is why it's so important to be present in the moment, because if you're not present in the moment and you're not aware of these things, it's hard to find that seed of growth. So like in every failure, there's this exact opposite seed of positive growth. You just got to find it. It's there. It is 100% there.
See, one of the things which changed, like I said, I'm still like in the process of kind of trying to change the way that I think and look at things. But one of the things which changed it was, what's it called? The Secret, I think it was.
Yeah,
the book.
Secret.
But not necessarily because I'm sure you could point me to better books.
Oh no, The Secret is good.
But like as a starting point for me, it was all like law of attraction and stuff like that. But just more like just looking at, instead of focusing on what you haven't got. Like I felt like, especially looking back, I felt on so much, like I was spent so much time focused on, oh, I need this money for this and this bill and this and this, and I want to do this and I can't do this. But actually, when you look at it, like focus on what you've got, suddenly you're a bit more content.
Yeah,
and
then you're more
worried.
You're more grateful then as well. So like it's the same like, so your focus is very powerful, because where attention goes, that's where energy flows. So like what you focus on expands. It's like it's the collapsing wave effect in quantum physics. So like if you like observe a part, like it's in the book Joe Dispenza's, like it's in all of his books. He says like where your focus and attention goes, it expands. Okay. So like you start feeling your heartbeat a little bit. You start focusing on it and then it beats more because you're focused on it. Wherever you're, it's like tunnel vision. You focus on something, it expands. So back to what you were saying there, you focusing on what you haven't got, you're going to attract more circumstances for what you haven't got to show up. Whereas when you focus on what you have and you're grateful for what you got, more of that situation will show up, like you being grateful for more stuff that you've got, including your goals. And like it's the biggest thing with like if you're trying to hit any goal, like no matter how big it is, like it's already happened. You just got to tune to that frequency. It's like when you listen to a radio station. I don't know, it's like the wave in Swansea is like 96.4 FM. If you're on 96.3, it's a bit it's not clear. But life is exactly the same. So like your goal has a certain frequency, a certain person who like, and by frequency I mean like what I was on about earlier, characteristics. Your goal has a certain version of yourself that's like, you know, thinking better, acting better, talking better, doing every training, whatever it is, sleeping better. And you've got to tune to that person, so tune to the radio station, and then it'll show up clearer in day. And it comes in mysterious ways. Like I've had like mystical experiences since I've been on this path. Like very mystical experiences. Like you're just like, you know where it's come from. Like you know, like, but you're in the unknown. As soon as you try to predict the outcome, you're back in the known, and then like you're back to the similar habits. You're back, like you got to step into the unknown, and it's really uncomfortable because you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But like that like place of unknown, which is actually just the present moment, just being here now, not thinking about past or future, just knowing where you're going, but just like here. Do you get me? That's where all possibilities are. Is in the present moment, in the unknown, and you've got to like get into that place, and the only way you can do that is coming into the present moment. So by like observing your thoughts, like when I'm speaking to you now, I can feel every bit of my body, like I'm fully here in this moment. Whereas like I could just be thinking like, oh, what time what time we finish, like, you know, like, oh, I need to pick someone up later.
I'll do this, I've got to do that.
I've got to put the food on later. But that's not happening now. The right strength, the right answer will come then. So it's like when you step into the present moment, fully embody yourself and what you're doing, the quality of that action increases because there's more focus there. And like it's like a very powerful thing. That was one of the main books that changed my life, was The Power of Now, like Eckhart Tolle, because it's free. Like you don't have to pay for it. Like it's just life. Like life is now. There's no, like if you went back 1,000 years ago and you was like, you ask some guy like traveler or whatever, like what time is it, bro? Like what you mean? The time's now. Like, do you know what I mean? So time, there's like time's linear. Like it's not a thing. Like practical time, we need it. Like I needed to be here for 1.
Yeah.
You need to be at somewhere else for 3. We need that. But like I'm talking about psychological time. So past and future. Like the past came as the now. Future is gonna come as the now. And it's like when you stay in like primary realities within. So like secondary realities without. So like you stand in front of a mirror. This is what I always tell people, like when people are like, can you explain it to me? So it's like, if you stand in a mirror, you're wearing that red t-shirt. If you look in the mirror, you're going to see you in a red t-shirt. You're looking at a mirror, you're like, I want that. I want to see you in a black t-shirt. You've got to physically put on the black t-shirt to see it. And like, so when you want a new life, you've got to put on that life. You've got to put on that version of yourself. And life is a hologram, it's a mirror. It reflects from how you are as a person. Like what you see is a reflect. Like it's crazy. It's like when you get into energy dynamics, it's quite intense.
Yeah.
But it's fun because you're like you notice it. Like you know, if I go into like my place of work or like I go around people and I feel anxious, like people will pick that up.
Yeah.
Like not consciously, but like they'll know I'm like they'll see me as that person, and like when I show up like confident, and I'm like it's magnetic. And like people feel that radiance, like they're like,
of course, yeah.
they pick, like you know when someone walks in a room, you can see, I see their aura straight away. Like I don't know if it's because I'm more in tune with myself, but like when someone comes in a room, I can read them like just by energy.
Okay.
So when someone comes in a room live, like you know, good vibes, like it rubs off me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when someone comes in like all negative, shouting, and like I'm like, that energy is like.
You can feel it.
I can feel it, yeah, 100%, man.
See, I find it fascinating, mate. I could literally talk to you about it for.
Oh, bro, like I've sometimes like when, especially like I've had experiences with psychedelics and stuff, and like I've had like so like I've done that like, but like with them I'll like, it's like DMT. Like I had a dream about it, and like it was so weird. Like what I needed in that point in space and time was what they showed me.
Yeah, okay.
And it was crazy, but like conversations like this, like I'm not even speaking, like I can feel the universe flowing through me. It's like effortless.
How did you get to that point though? Where was the starting point for that journey? Because I'm assuming it didn't happen like overnight.
Yeah, so like I was in a relationship like when I was like 18. And like we finished, and like I was like not like upset, like, and I joined this training course like for like working out. This guy Kino Body, and like he in the course, the book The Power of Now was there, because like you see it when people are like training and like they're out of shape and they're constantly thinking about that end result. They're like, oh, I'm not there yet, like, do you know, and they don't see, like it takes time. So like. I read that book, The Power of Now. It was in it. Like, it was weird how the universe pulled me to it. Like, it was like... And as soon as I started applying what that book said, and it's so simple, like it's so simple. As soon as I start applying that now, like what I was just talking about, being present in the moment, like feeling my body, like I can feel my heart beating, I can smell like aroma in a room, like me holding this bottle now is cold, I can feel that. I'm not thinking about it, I just feel it. As soon as I started applying that, like it just brought this consciousness into me, and I awoke to what everything was, and then I just went through like a mad spiritual awakening. Like I started meditating, and like meditation is the biggest. Like I do it every day, morning and night is the biggest thing I've ever done, because it allowed, like, do you know throughout the day you have that little chattiness in your mind, like everyone has it. Instead of like analysing it don't go, but you watch it, you're like watching it from like a higher, there's like two of you. It's like you have that chattiness, and then there's you, your soul, your spirit, watching it. Not analysing, like, why am I thinking like this?
Yeah.
Just seeing it. It's like, if this room was dark now, yeah, this is my, like, analysis of it. So if this room was dark now, and I just put the light, like, I shined a torch, the darkness goes. So, like, your thoughts are that darkness, and, like, the torch is that awareness, and that awareness builds when you're meditating. Like, meditation, it the studies have shown now that it like increases like so many like good stuff in your body. Like it does wonders. Like it brings you back to homeostasis, so it puts your hormones at balance. Like it increases endorphins, serotonin, and there's all like loads of other stuff I do to like amplify it. But like if you can just sit down and just be still in the morning, you'll see a massive impact on the choices you're making on that day.
Yeah, I try. Again, like it's like early days. Like I am trying to meditate recently, but like what I tend to do is because I get quite a lot of pain in my back and my hip and that from that car crash from years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is like quite often, I used to go to sleep in the day, like for a couple of hours in the afternoon, because I had painkillers and pain and just generally just felt like shit. But what I'd find is I would need to go to sleep, but when I woke up, I felt marginally better because I'd had a sleep.
Yeah.
But I also felt like shit because I'd wasted 2 hours,
2 hours a day,
sleeping,
of
and
course.
it's like, but it was such a routine of going to sleep that it was like if I didn't go to sleep, or like I would get to a certain time and it would be like, I need to go to sleep. And I found that really difficult. So what I just started doing is I was listening to these things on YouTube, just what they call, I'm trying to think what they're
Binaural
called.
beats, is it?
Yeah.
Just soft frequencies.
Yeah, just all these different frequencies and put their headphones in. So I would just I would still go and lay down for like an hour or 45 minutes or whatever, depending on what I felt like that day. But it would be, rather than just going to sleep, I would chuck that on and just let my mind just drift. And in the same way then, I would try and keep everything which I was thinking about in that 45 minutes or whatever. I would let my mind just go wherever it's going to go. I wouldn't try, because I was very much, how can I put this? So like when I was younger, so when I was 16, my old man died.
Okay.
So what would happen is, when I would go to sleep, I'd always go to that or to bad thoughts and things which make you feel like shit. So I couldn't sleep, and then it was like a vicious circle. So I would drink
just
so I could go to sleep.
Yeah.
So now I kind of just let those thoughts go, but instead of letting them go to the negative stuff, I steer them more towards positive stuff. But my original point was going to be so I haven't quite got to doing like full on meditation and stuff, but I've tried to use that just to change the way I'm thinking about everything, because I find otherwise, or certainly previously, everything, like whatever I would think about, like I'm skint, or I need to do this, or I want to do this, or I want to take the podcast this way, but it's not quite able to get the guests, or to get there, or to do this, or I haven't got the equipment, whatever it may be. But I'd always like as soon as I start thinking about that stuff, you're thinking about what you haven't got, and then you just go down this rabbit hole of negativity and then you're looking at other people, and it's like, oh, well, they've got it and they're doing it, and it can be like quite like go back to what we said right at the start. It can be quite a toxic thing in your own mind really quickly.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, your mind plays tricks on you as well. So like your mind, like when you think them thoughts, it's not like thoughts are just like they're not real unless you make them real. So like one of my mentors taught me this in mindset, like thoughts are neutral, they're neither good or bad.
Yeah.
So like a thought is just a thought, like your mind, that's just your mind creating it. But like it's like if it's hard, like your thoughts are neutral, but like the story you give them thoughts is what determines the feeling you get from them. So like I could walk outside now, it's pissing down. You could be like, oh fuck, it's ruined my day. It's ruined my day. I'm like, I was boiling. That's just refreshed me.
Nice and cool.
Do you like do you know? It's like, it's just your story you give of your thoughts. So like everything's neutral. Like thoughts are neither good or bad. Money's neither good or bad. It's your perception and story of it. So like another great book is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. He's very like Stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius. But like what he says is like your perception of everything is what determines how, like anyone can, like I may think of something completely different to what you think, like do you know what I mean? And it's like how you perceive something is how you feel about it. So like if you like going back to like what I was saying, like your thoughts, they're just like this is why it's important to be present. So like everyone finds it hard to meditate because like their thoughts your mind will run you like a river, because once it gets momentum and it won't stop, and like everyone's thinking all day, it's like classed as normal. I'm thinking, Like people think they use their mind, but like their mind uses them. It's just it's crazy. Like when you can get into the state of no mind, what they call it in the Middle East, where just pure presence, awareness, a thought will come in and you're like so do you know when I laugh at my own thoughts now, I treat them like as if you would laugh at like a child doing something stupid. Like I think something anxious, I'm like that's hilarious. I'm like how do I even think that? And that like because there's no attachment to it. It just goes. Like if a cloud comes past you in the sky, you're like, oh, that cloud looks like Great Britain. No, like you know when you look at a cloud and like it looks like something. So like you look at a cloud, but it goes. You're not like still looking at it when it's like down by my house. Do you know what I mean? It's come and it's gone. Thoughts are exactly the same. They come. But like if you start watching it, you're gonna start like your mind will start running you like a river. So like what like a good little technique I do is just watch your breath, because you can't think while watching your breath. So just take a deep breath in now and try think while watching that breath. Just while watching your breath, try think about something.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. Because you're focused on the now.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean? You're focused like on what you're doing right now. It's the same when you like whenever your mind starts running you like a river, body awareness will anchor you back in. So like whenever I feel my mind like start chatting to me a little bit, or I'm overthinking, you gotta like catch yourself doing it. Like that's the because sometimes you'll go hours and like, oh my god, I've just been thinking for like 2 hours straight, and like do you know what I mean? And do you know how much energy is required like to run your mind? It's mental. It drains you of life energy. So like whenever my mind is overthinking, I just breathe through it, because the breath when you was born into this world, the first thing you did was and when you die, the last thing you do is breath is life. Breath is prana, is chi. Like you breathing life into you. So like I'm constantly focusing on breath work. So like throughout my whole day, I'm like I take a moment just to like it brings you back to balance. And like any stressful situation, you just focus on your breath for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Focus nostril breathing only. You can do left, right nostril, which balances your it balances you like because you only breathe through one nostril.
Is that right?
At a time, yeah.
I didn't know that.
But it's linked to the sun and the moon. So sun is fire energy, so that's your fire channel. So you find when you're more active, you breathe through your sun channel, and then when you're relaxed, it's like moon energy, which is calm. But like when your body's completely balanced, you breathe through both nostrils. So like after a meditation or a breath work, I can feel it coming out of both. And like your mind is like all coherent. There's like you have your left and right hemisphere, they're like working with each other. You just move effortlessly. Do you know when you're doing stuff without thinking? Yeah. You're just like what you're doing. Like it just flows. Pilot, you write in new ideas for your podcast. It's just like flow state. Like when you're present in a moment, when your breath, like when you're balanced, that's how you move. And like your life will tremendously improve, like because there's no distractions. You're like not thinking about anything that's happening, like not even thinking about 10 minutes time. You never catch yourself waiting. You're in traffic and you're like, fuck. Yeah, I do. Like, oh come on, I need to get to work. Just like the universe is just giving you time to think and imagine that highest version of yourself. Just sit there and just feel the moment.
Yeah, do you know what interests me as well about it all is how like a lot of the stuff which you're talking about is if you go to different parts of the world, they're very much more in tune with that sort of way of thinking and stuff. And what you find is the places where people are naturally more in tune to where like spiritualistic type of way of thinking or positivity or just like your body and meditation and things like that. Quite often at other places where there's no internet and no phones
no distractions.
A lack of there's not 200 channels on TV and stuff like this, because those things are designed, of course they're designed for entertainment, but they're also designed to kind of distract you and
100%
keep you placid.
Yeah, they're like it's a TV program. It programs you like this is why I stopped watching TV. I watch Netflix now and then because I got like everything's in balance and moderation. Do you get me? So it's not like I'm not a robot. I've been through that phase of trying to be like a monk and disciplined, and like it was good. Trust me, it was amazing. But like we come to this life to enjoy. Like everyone's got their own perception on life. Do you know what I mean? Like, but like I know that we're infinite. Like, do you know what I mean? Wherever you believe in God, I'm not religious, but like I believe that there's an infinite intelligence running this. Like,
so where we could have you religious?
Yeah, so like I'm not religious, so like I don't believe it. Like I don't believe in God the way like they make it out to be. Yeah. But like it don't matter what you believe in. It's all the same. Like I believe that we are the universe. So like the universe isn't separate from us. You know, they say like you need to repent, God will judge you for your sins and stuff. But like if we are God, then God is us. And God judges us. He's judging himself. Or like, do you know what I mean? So like, I'm the universe. We are the universe. We're a reflection. We're an expansion. Everything. When you like, so I read the book The Law of One, and it changed my whole conception.
You have to send me a list of these books.
Oh, I've got libraries there for you, bro. Like, It's so like I read the book The Law of One. It's very intense. It's hard to read because it's so like esoteric. But like, it shows about the law of one. So like we are the same. Like you're an extension of me. So like this is why I don't treat people bad anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? So like because like you're treating yourself bad. It's like we are a extension from source, universe, whatever you want to call it, God, Allah, like whatever you believe in. We're an extension from it. Okay. So like we are all one. Yeah. So like if we're all one, then like that connection. Like if like. I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, no, we're separate from each other. Like, you know, like like God, like we're separate from the universe. Like, you know, like we're all separate. I was like, we're separate from like everything. So I was like, okay. So like, if I went down and chopped every single tree down in this earth, and we're not connected, like, what would happen to your existence? Die. So can like.
Yeah.
Can you
so
like
connected? Yeah.
Yeah. So if obviously we're connected. If the tree went down, you're gonna stop breathing. You know. So like, when I learned that, it was such a rewarding feeling because I'm like, how you view other people and like how you treat other people is like how you're treating yourself. Really, it's kind of the law of karma, and it's like it's very powerful. And the thing is, the more I know now, the less I know. It's like. The more you know about something, the less you know because you know how much there is to know. It's infinite. It's never ending. So that's why it's just a journey of like transcendence. That's what it is for me. And like I keep going through these awakenings and like and just like I keep realizing more about myself and life and like energy and like you know the dynamics of it all. And like it's a nice content feeling though. Like when you know that. Especially if you've done DMT, like I won't recommend it to anyone. I won't like it's nothing to use like to get like high or anything. Yeah. It's like it's the spirit molecule in it. The DMT is in everyone. So like for me, when I done that, it was like I went where I come from. It was so weird. Like it felt like I was home. It was like it was mental, and like. Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah, like for me with that, it's like I like the idea of it and the things that it could show me and stuff like that. But also, one of the reasons why I got so messed up in my 20s and that was because I had a really bad mushroom trip when I was about 16, 17, 16 I think. I got lost up the Garth Mountain basically and it was the first time I'd done mushrooms.
Mental. I've never done mushrooms.
As a kid, like I didn't like it. I did it again after that, like a few weeks later, to try and cancel out the bad experience that I'd had. But I never was able to get past that. The feeling, like it changed me. Like, and it sounds dramatic, like, but those feelings of like fear and also hallucinating and stuff at the same time, like they. I was a kid, like, you know. So you
weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, when I done DMT, like I had a dream about it. It was so natural. It was like it went like forced.
It was just like the natural.
It was like
thing to do,
the universe pulled me to do it, and like when I done it, I learned what I like. It was so like it was mental. The message I got from it was gratitude, and I started playing it, and my life changed, and like. So like I personally think that like stuff like DMT or like psychedelics and stuff like it causes an unwanted spiritual awakening. Like I feel like spiritual awakening should happen naturally.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like you go through a situation, a dark experience.
Should be ready for it.
Yeah, and your soul is ready for it. So like my soul was ready to experience what I seen, and it wasn't a bad experience. It was intense, but it went bad. It felt
but
like
for someone else.
For someone else, it could like
much,
who don't understand like universal laws, or like they don't understand energy, or like like conceptions and stuff like that, and that like infinite, like that were infinite and stuff. They'd be like, whoa, like what, like they'd freak out, and then their life would like it open their mind when they're not ready to have their mind open, and like when people tell me like I really want to be spiritual and stuff, I'm like, you gotta be prepared to like feel everything 10 times more, and like when you're into the like you become like an empath, so like people's energy rub off you easier, like you get like you can feel the emotions of food, you can feel like I was plant-based for 3 years. I eat meat now, but like it was weird, like I just started eating just plants and stuff, and like but like now I'm like back on the meat and stuff, and I feel amazing.
Interesting. It is. I find it really fascinating. Just as we kind of go into the last bit of the podcast, and I want to talk to you a bit about your music and album.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%.
Because we got, like, as I said, we were just before we started recording, like, we'll just go wherever we go.
Where it goes, wherever the universe takes us.
We'll just have a chat, like, and we'll see where it goes.
100%.
So 16, 17, like you were you started sort of doing music and stuff, and obviously you've done numerous songs and videos and stuff, and done some with some some big artists.
Yeah, as well. Of course, yeah.
Been you got like thousands of views over like different things.
Yeah, no, like so, like especially like.
That's what I was going to ask you. Sorry, because I'll forget. Do you think the way you've kind of like adapted spiritually and changed spiritually over the years has affected your music?
100%, because it's changed who I am. So like when I started making music, I was on a different timeline of what I was doing. I was doing different things, like I was like around different people, so like my music was about that experience in life.
Okay. So
now that I'm on this kind of wave, like my music's gonna change, and like a lot of people will fall off as well. Like listeners, they'll be like, "Oh, I prefer your old music," but I'm like, I'm not that person anymore. So if I make music like that, so when I make music now, it's more real to me because it's like, it's just who I am now. If I was making music, like if I was still writing about stuff that I was doing, like I still talk about like past experiences in my music, but like not that I'm doing it now. So like, my music has changed massively, but like it's more soulful for me. It's like it resonates with me more. So like I'd rather people like fall off and then attract people who resonate with it. Do you get me? Do you know?
Yeah,
so like I released Frisky, I had like 60k views. Like I released a track now, I got like 2k. Yeah. But like that doesn't bother me because I know that a track is slowly merging the right art, like the right like listeners who need to hear it. Like I want someone to listen to my music and feel it for what it is.
The other thing as well is like if you want to be true to yourself in whatever you're doing, whether 100%. It's podcasting or it's music or whatever, and like if you're doing music or you're rapping about stuff that is not you.
Yeah. It's like you're creating a false image then as well. That's why like, like I get it for entertainment and stuff. I get that, like, do you know what I mean? But like, you're creating a false image for yourself. Yeah. And like,
I don't risk going down the route of not feeling great about yourself.
Yeah, of course, because like people like when people who don't know me like before, like they'd come up to me and be like, just think I'm a rapper, like, do you know what I mean? But then they hear me like yoga, like they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're like, what? They're like, how? Like there was like, so then that made me think about even more because I'm like, I don't want people thinking that I'm just a rapper. I want them to think of me as this positive guy who's like trying to impact people's lives as well. So like that's why I had to change my style of music, but like it happened effortlessly. It wasn't forced. It just slowly changed, and it's like I want someone to you know when you listen to a track and it raises your vibe. Yeah. You have them tracks. I want to make them type of tracks for people. I want people to listen to my music and like and feel it and like make them chase their goals and make them. Do the things they want.
Like you can get a song or a tune or whatever, which just motivates you, can't you? Or it just gets you going,
100%,
or
yeah.
just lyrics make you think a bit more deeper about anything, really. It's like music is that. Music's a weird thing, innit, though. It can change your mood in a
minute.
Yeah.
You feeling down, you put that banger on, you're instantly up. Because like when I listen to music now, it makes me run up goals. It makes me like just think more positive. It just makes me like, like that's the right music. And when I want people to listen, when I like make tracks now, like I've been less active because I'm focusing on the quality of it. I want people to listen to it and feel it.
Yeah.
And like, want to be like, I'm putting this song on. Do you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so like so like my music has 100% changed since I've gone on to this journey, but in a good way, because it's who I am. I know that when I make a track now, it's nothing that I'm not. So it's like, it's fun.
Is there any of your tunes which you don't like from back in the day?
No, you know what? Yeah, I used to listen to my tracks and be like, oh, I wish I didn't make that. But then at the same time, I'm like, I was doing, like, that's who I was then. So, like, looking back now, all I see is growth. So, like, I don't regret anything. Obviously, some songs, like, I may have, like, said certain stuff and I could have been like, I should have maybe not said stuff. But it is what it is. Like, I can't, like, I don't regret it. I just see it as growth. I'm like, well, I see myself as an artist now from when I was back then, and it's just a lot more professional than it was then. So when I see songs like that, I'm just like, wow, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
I could easily be like, oh, like, why did I make that track?
Yeah,
but it's already done, man. Like, it's already happened. I like just. That was me. Anyway, that was me back then. If anything, people can see them tracks now, and like back then, and see them now, and then be like, "Oh, he's gone to another level." So it's kind of good that they're still, that like. But yeah,
it's funny. So, just on that note, like, one of the guys who I do some of the Patreon shows with, like, he said, "Why don't we do like a show where we go back and we look at like your first couple of podcasts?" And I was like, no, you're right. I can't even watch them.
It's awkward.
I can't even watch them.
Do you know what I
listen? Like on Skype and that, and it was just, I was awkward and.
It's mad because like I listen to like, when I listen to my old songs, I'm like, oh my god, that's so shit. But like, but at the same time, I'm like, that's how I started. Like, and like you've come like.
You grow though, don't you?
Yeah, you're gonna every year you're a new person. Like actually, you are like your body gets rid of its cells and creates new ones. Like you actually are a new person every single year. So like your music's or your podcast's gonna change. Everything's got to be in momentum. Like people are so happy staying in the same place and comfort zone, but like you've got to get out of that to grow. You got nothing nothing is stagnant. You're either growing or you're losing. There's no in between. There's no in between. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. We're not staying still. Like it's like there's no maintenance. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like you're either increasing your performance or you're decreasing it. Yeah. And like that's how I view it. So like if you ain't growing, you're dying. That's what it is.
What would you say to someone if they said, I want to change the way I think? Like, what's the first thing you would tell them to do?
Look at yourself. So like this is why like people's like if you really want to change, if you really want to change, like you've got to make that conscious decision to do it at the start. Like you've got to consciously be like, I've had enough. Like you can see a lot of people are like, I've had enough, I'm going to the gym on Monday. Monday comes next Monday. Yeah. The only moment is now. So if you need to change, you need to make that change right now. Not I'm starting next week. Next week never comes, bro. You got to make that change. You got to make that change now. And like, if you want to think better, you got to look at your life. Like, you got to look at what you're doing, who you hang around with, how you eat, how you work. Do you go to the gym? Do you go out of your house? Are you on your phone all the time? You got to look at who you are as a person and be like, if I was looking at myself from a third person experience, would I be happy? If I had kids, if you had a father, like if you had a mother or whatever, like I just look at it like that. And like if you want to change your thoughts, you got to change your state of like, you got to like just show up as a like positive. You got to, if you want to change yourself, just visualize the greatest version of yourself. Just sit down for 10 minutes visualize the greatest version of yourself. Whether you're an artist, a painter, whatever it is you're doing, podcast creator, I don't know, footballer, like it doesn't matter. Visualize, if you're not happy with where you are right now, visualize that best person of yourself. Like visualize it, get a clear image on what you want. That's number one. So I always say you gotta be specific. And then how you gotta write down, get a piece of paper if you have to, write down the characteristics of that version of yourself. What time do you want to wake up? What time do you want to go to bed? What type of information do you want to receive on a daily basis? Do you want to read books? Do you want to scroll social media? Do you want to go gym? Or do you want to sit on your ass? Like, do you want to eat healthy? Do you want to like, all of this stuff you got to write, like every specific. I'm talking like, if you really want to change, you've got to put the time in to think about this. Like, and I constantly reschedule this because I'm always thinking of how like I'm always meeting my goals. My goals, I always come to them, whether it takes me a month or a year. Like I meet them. They always happen. And then when that goal comes, I redesign it. So like I'll see like I redesign there's another higher version of myself. So you got to be specific with that person that you want to be, and then when you've got a clear vision, it's all you got to do is just become that version of yourself. Just show up as that version of yourself. It's gonna be hard, especially if you've been wired a certain way. If you've been wired negative your whole life, you're gonna start thinking positive, and your body's like, "What are you doing, man?" Do you know what I mean? Start thinking like
it takes a lot to change.
Yeah, and like the chemicals your body produces, like. Your body is like, well, what are you doing to me? Like, we've been thinking this way, we ain't stopping now. And your body will start playing games, bro. Like, your body will start sending your brain thoughts like, it's too hard, let's start tomorrow. All of this stuff is so, like, one of the, like, if you really want to change yourself, I just recommend the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, by Joe Dispenza. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And like people say, why wouldn't you want to be yourself? But like, if you're not happy with yourself, you need to become a new person. And so that's what I would do. If it's in a simple form, visualize the vision that you want to be. If you're not happy with where you are now, write down the characteristics of that person, and then the final step, show up as that person and be persistent. Because you'll pick up momentum, and then you'll just be you'll start to feel as if your goals already happened. And when you show up as if your goals already happened, you're no longer looking for it. And that shit comes to you, bro. Like, I swear down, that shit comes to you. Like, you no longer run into your goals. Because you run after them, they're running away. If you show up as them, and you feel grateful as if it's happened, you're telling your body that you're whole now. Like, you don't, like, it's already happened.
You're not looking for something.
You're not looking for it. And when you stop looking for your goals, that's when they come. Because, like, it's the same. Have you ever tried texting someone and you're waiting for them to reply, you're looking at your phone constantly, and then you give up, fuck, like, I'm putting it down, boom, text comes. It's the same. It's that least resistant path you need to be on. But that's my advice to anyone who wants to change their state of being or become a new person. Just to think of the person they want to be, write down every single part of that person and just show up. Because the law of attraction, like, people forget that there's a word action in there. You can't attract without the action. You've got to meet the universe halfway, man.
Yeah, it's not enough to just think and just hope it comes.
When I read The Secret, I used to just sit on the sofa and be like, I'm a millionaire. That shit ain't coming unless I get up and do something about it. Do you know what I mean? But the more you think positive, the more the more you're gonna act on it anyway. You find when you're negative, you don't do anything. Like, you can't be asked. Yeah. But when you're thinking so positive about your goals, you're going to go after them effortlessly.
Absolutely. So very quickly then, a couple of quick questions just to kind of wrap us up. What's the favourite tune you made?
Favourite tune I've made?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll put it another way.
There's ones unreleased, which are like, they're hard.
Which are out then?
Which are out.
So let's say, what's your favourite, and what do you think, if you asked like the hardcore listeners of your music what their favourite was, would they both be the same?
So I think they'd be different because everyone likes Frisky. That, like, the one I stuck on GRM. Yeah. Because it was like the first real, like, proper track I released. But for me, it's a line in all, like, Strength and Style, the one I done on Oh So Grimy, because it resonates with me. Yeah. Like what I'm saying in that track, do you know what I mean? So, I would probably say I'd probably say for me it's aligning.
I like it.
It's aligning.
What about who's your favourite artist which you've worked with?
Which I've worked with. It's gotta be Marino, man, because we like our chemistry's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've got tracks that sitting there, and because I started the journey with him as well. So like, yeah, probably.
He's up your way, is he?
Swansea, yeah, probably be Marino, man.
This is my thing, and this is why I've been trying to get as many like Welsh rappers or whatever, like musicians and artists in here as I can at the moment, because I think that the talent pool is insane in Wales at the moment. There's so many, like, not just good, but like really top quality like rappers and whatever, like just musicians, and because there's so many, and also because we're all based in Wales, it feels like you don't get the recognition that you would get if you was in London or
100%.
Like
but
that.
It's also a blessing as well because Wales is small. If you're good, you stand out. Like it's like big fish in a pond, isn't it? It's like that's why like when me and Ross, like Marino, when we started rapping in Swansea, like everyone knew because Swansea's so small and no one was rapping.
Yeah.
So like now a lot of people, I love it. Like loads of people in Swansea are rapping now, and like they're getting good as well. Like do you know what I mean? So like I see loads of people like. When I see people making music now, I love it because like I'm like. There's a lot of talent. Yeah, I listen to some people and I'm like, how haven't you blown? Like it's do you know what I mean? It's mental. It's crazy, like, but it's gonna happen. Like eventually, I know it's gonna happen. Like, I don't even believe. Like, I know. At some point of time, it's gonna happen. So,
I want to get Mr. Traumatic in here.
He's on that level.
Like, I get the impression at least that he's on a similar kind of level to you.
Yeah, he's on that like he's on that like that spiritual level, man. He's sick. He's amazing, man. Same as Scammer, like you'd have a powerful conversation with him.
I'd like to get. There's loads of them I'd like to get.
Scammer's sick. He's been in the game for time as well. So like.
Right. As I wrap these shows up with an interesting question, which is going to be even more interesting because I feel like in some ways we just talked about it for like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But Jay, what is the meaning of life?
Just to be here and now and create heaven on earth. Not to like go to like we come here to create. We come here to manifest. We come here to be the best version of ourselves. And like once you realize that and take your power back.
Yeah.
We come. Heaven is on earth. Like we come here to create this. We come here as creators. So for me, the meaning of life is to come here and create an experience and that stay and that oneness, you know.
Right.
And the only way you can do that is by coming into the now.
Absolutely. I like it a lot. Where would you like to be in 5 years from now, say? 5
years from now, just what I'm doing now, but just, you know, everyone around me patterned, you know, like financially free, completely financially free. Just embody and have like full vision of myself there, just like, you know, complete freedom, man.
Yes, that's one of the most frustrating things, isn't it? It's like, if you got financial freedom, you can kind of do what you want and you can go about your business and that.
Of course you can.
But like, ultimately, also I think as your mindset change, you care less about money and stuff.
Money is money, like I don't like the money, like I don't care about the note.
No.
It's the freedom. Like you can't go into a shop and buy freedom.
No.
You can't buy someone can't sell you happiness. Well, I mean, it depends on what you think happiness is.
Yeah.
You know, like down to that, but you can't go to a shop and just buy happiness. But
how many people do you see with millions of quid or whatever?
Yeah, so like that's why I'm glad I've like become content with life before their mills have come in, because when they do come in, there's no attachment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you understand money as well, that's currency. So money's energy. It just comes and goes. Like, it's mental. When you like, money is energy. If you think about the word currency, current, energy, current. So like money is just currency, bro. It's just energy. So like you attract it, it goes. If you try hold on to money, it's energy can't, like energy don't like to fucking
stay still.
Yeah, you try squeeze energy, it goes, bro. Money's energy. You try squeeze onto that money. Oh, I don't want to spend that. Like do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, like just completely financially free, you know, and just like everyone around me, like pattern, just living, being just more content with life, like just fully like immersed into this life, you know.
Content.
Yeah, content, and just like my music to be a lot more global, you know. That's where my vibe.
Do you feel like you got a message to share with your music, which you'd like to share globally?
Yeah, just take it in. Take it in and understand the message that's behind it, because whenever I write a track now, there's a certain thing behind it that once you grasp it, like, and you apply it.
Yeah.
Because that shit comes, I'm not making this shit, like the universe is flowing through me. So when you listen to my tracks, you're listening to the universe, you know.
Yeah, top man. You could check out JSpeakz on YouTube and social media and all that stuff. I'll put links in the description.
New
as
tracks
always.
coming as well. I've got some bangers on the way.
There you go. So I'll put links in the description to all that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, mate. Nice one.
Thank you for having me, man.